So, I wasn't even going to post this, like at all. But my best friend Liz practically begged me to get this off my chest somewhere. So here I am. Hi. This will probably come back to haunt me, but whatever. It's 3 a.m. and I haven't slept in 2 nights. I'm Kara. I'm 30, live in a tiny one-bedroom in Chicago, with a leaky radiator and a cat named Beetlejuice, who only likes me half the time. I've been dating this guy, Malcolm, he's 34, for just over 2 years. And before I get into all this, I need to say, I really thought he was it. Like, the one. The guy I was going to marry, build a life with, maybe even adopt a second cat with. But now, I don't even know if I knew him at all. Anyway, the cracks didn't show all at once. It was slow. You know the type. Little things that seem harmless until they pile up and you're suddenly standing in emotional quicksand. It started a few months ago when Malcolm said his lease was up. He made it sound like this tragic story. His landlord jacked up the rent, and he couldn't afford it anymore. I offered to let him crash with me temporarily, because what else was I supposed to do? He said it would be just a few weeks. That was 4 months ago. I didn't even mind at first. It felt kind of romantic, like that domestic phase where you get to wake up together and eat cereal at 2 a.m. But then things started changing. He wasn't helping with groceries. I mean, the man eats like a teenager after football practice, gone through 2 boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in 3 days. But when I asked if he could chip in, he said something like, "I'm just in between gigs. I'll Venmo you next week." Spoiler, next week never came. Then it was the bills. My electric bill doubled because he kept the space heater on all day while I was at work. I brought it up, kind of gently, and he laughed and said, "You're so type A about money. You need to relax." Relax. Okay, I tried. I even picked up a few extra freelance gigs to cover the gap, thinking he just needed time to get back on his feet. But the job interviews he supposedly had, no callbacks, or so he said. Still, I pushed through. I figured this was what supporting your partner looked like. Until last week. It was a Thursday. I remember because I had a huge pitch meeting that afternoon, and I barely slept the night before. I asked Malcolm to take care of a few things. Just basic stuff, like running the dishwasher and picking up some more toilet paper. I even left him a $20 on the counter. I come home to find nothing done. Dishes still in the sink. No toilet paper. But hey, the $20 gone, and Malcolm's on the couch playing video games with a half-empty bottle of vodka on the coffee table. At 4 p.m., I asked, calmly at first, "Hey, did you forget to run those errands?" He goes, "Oh yeah, I meant to, but I got caught up in this tournament. My team's killing it." Your team? Like he's in the freaking esports Olympics or something. Anyway, we had a fight. I yelled, he deflected, and somewhere in the middle of it, he drops this gem. "You're acting like I owe you something. You knew what I was when you let me stay here." I don't even know what that means. Like I adopted a stray raccoon or something? The next morning, I was still mad, but also kind of numb. I went to work, gave my pitch, crushed it, thankfully, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. That line, "You knew what I was." And then it got worse, way worse. That night, I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed, and I see this story from a girl I sort of know, Talia. We used to work together. She's doing this girls' night out thing at some bougie rooftop bar. Cute outfits, cocktails, you know the vibe. And there, in the corner of the last clip, barely in the frame, but absolutely Malcolm, wearing the jacket I bought him for his birthday, laughing, with his arm around a girl I don't recognize. At first, I convince myself it's someone else, like maybe it's just a guy who looks like Malcolm. I even screen recorded the story and sent it to Liz like, "Am I crazy or is this my boyfriend?" She didn't even hesitate. That's 100% him. My heart dropped. I didn't even cry. Not yet, I just sat there. Later that night, I confronted him. Asked him flat out where he was last night. He says, "Oh, I just needed to clear my head. I went for a walk." A walk. With stilettos and rooftop cocktails, apparently. I pulled up the video and showed him. Dead silence. He stared at the screen, then said, "You're really stalking me now? That's not healthy, Kara." "Excuse me?" Now I'm the problem? He got defensive. Tried to twist it, saying I'm controlling, that I expect too much, that I've been making him feel like a failure because I'm always reminding him about money. He literally said, "I never asked you to cover everything. That was your choice." That. I said, "You're living in my house, eating my food, using my internet, and drinking vodka I paid for with my last $10. And then he hits me with this. "I just feel like you're stable. And that's great, but you're not the kind of person I celebrate with. You're the one people settle for, not chase." Like I'm a consolation prize, a backup plan. I didn't even scream. I just walked into the bathroom, sat on the floor, and locked the door while he tried to talk through it. At some point he left, maybe went back to that bar. I didn't care. The next day, I changed the locks. He tried to text, call, left a voicemail, crying, saying he was drunk and didn't mean it, that he loves me and feels safe with me. But you know what? I'm done being someone's safe zone while they use me as a pit stop. This week, I packed up every single thing he left behind, put it in a garbage bag, and dropped it off with his sister, who, by the way, told me he's done this before, multiple times. Different women, same script. I was just next in line. Not anymore. So yeah, I guess this is my post-breakup manifesto. I'm rebuilding. I'm still broke. My cat's mad because I ran out of treats, and I had to cancel brunch with Liz because my bank account is literally in the single digits. But I'm not a backup plan. Not a filler. Not safe. And definitely not the girl who keeps paying while some dude finds himself at my expense. If you're hearing this and it hits close to home, maybe you've got your own Malcolm. Take it from me. You don't need someone who feels safe with you, but refuses to be safe for you. Cut them off. Change the locks. Reclaim your damn Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay, so this has been weighing on me for months, and I honestly didn't think I'd ever post about it. But last night, I was lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, just feeling this pit in my stomach. I guess I'm here because I don't know what to do anymore, and maybe someone out there has been through something even remotely similar. I've been with my girlfriend, Ava, for 6 years. We met in college. She was the artistic, kind of mysterious girl with a sketchbook always tucked under her arm, and I was the nerdy photography major who thought he had no shot. Fast forward to now. We live together. We've talked about marriage, kids, all of it. I thought she was the one. No, scratch that. I still want to believe she's the one. But about 5 months ago, I was on a pretty normal night scrolled through Reddit, just killing time before bed, when I ended up in a pretty NSFW thread. Look, I'm not proud, but it was nothing unusual for me. But one video caught my attention for the weirdest reason. The girl in the video looked just like Ava. Like not just similar. I mean, my heart stopped. I sat up, rewound it, watched it again. She had the same deep brown hair, same curve in her jaw, even the exact same tiny birthmark on her upper left thigh. That birthmark is something Ava's always been self-conscious about. I've seen it 100 times. It's shaped almost like a comma, and it's impossible to miss once you know it's there. But the video didn't show her face, just her body. Her voice was muffled, but the way she moved, the little nervous laugh she gave at one point, it sent chills down my spine. I must have watched it 10 times. Then I screen recorded it, stared at it for another hour, and then just sat there, completely numb. I wasn't even mad at first, just shocked. At first, I didn't say anything to her. I didn't know how. But the next morning, I woke up early and started digging. I used Google reverse image search, tried to trace the video to an original source, anything that could give me more context. But all I found were re-uploads, grainy, low-res, faceless. I tried to let it go, told myself it was a coincidence. But then, a week later, Ava was in the bathroom, and her phone buzzed next to me on the couch. I didn't plan to look, but it was from a name I didn't recognize, Seth. Just a casual "hope you're doing good," with a winky face, and my stomach flipped again. I confronted her, asked her who Seth was. She looked confused for a second and then said, "Oh, he's just someone I met during an art exhibit last year. He asked to collaborate, but it never happened." Seemed innocent, but I brought up the video next. I told her, honestly, hesitantly, that I saw something that looked exactly like her online. She immediately got defensive. I mean, immediately. Her face went red, she raised her voice, said, "Why would you accuse me of something like that?" And then said something like, "I knew you had trust issues, but this is insane." I tried to keep calm. I said, "Look, I'm not accusing, I'm asking. Please, just look at it and tell me if it's not you." She refused, said it was disrespectful to even ask, that she'd never film herself doing anything like that, let alone let it get online. But I know what I saw, and it's tearing me apart. Since then, I've kept looking, not because I want to find proof, but because I need closure. I've been in these rabbit holes, trying different keywords, image matches, forums, anything. But all I ever find is the same clip. No context, no full video, no face. I even found an old backup drive and started comparing photos I took of her to the video. Same mole on the right shoulder. Same way she laughs and covers her mouth with her hand. She still denies it, says I'm crazy, that I'm obsessed. That maybe I'm trying to sabotage the relationship subconsciously. But here's the thing. She started keeping her phone face down. She's got new passwords on her laptop. And twice now, she's come home late and said she was at her sister's place. But when I asked her sister, she said Ava hadn't been there in weeks. So now I'm living in this bizarre limbo. I feel like I'm slowly unraveling. I love this woman. I really do. But I'm also starting to realize that love doesn't survive when doubt lives rent-free in your head. I haven't told anyone else. Not my best friend, not my brother. I don't want people to look at her differently, because what if I'm wrong? What if it really isn't her, and I'm about to destroy a perfectly good relationship over a coincidence? But then I remember that birthmark. That tiny comma on her thigh that I've kissed 100 times. And I wonder if I'm just seeing what I want to see, or maybe what I don't want to see. The worst part is, I haven't stopped sleeping next to her. She still kisses me goodnight. We still cook dinner together. We still make weekend plans. But every night I close my eyes, that video plays in my head, over and over. I want to believe her, but I also don't want to be a fool. So I'm here, hoping that maybe someone's been through something similar. Maybe someone knows how to track down an original source better than I do. Or maybe someone just has advice. Because right now, I feel like I'm floating in between two realities. One where the person I love has a past she's hiding, and one where I'm just a paranoid guy destroying his own future. If you've made it this far, thank you. I don't know what tomorrow looks like, but tonight I just needed to be heard. I just needed someone to hear me. I, 28M, just got out of a 3-year relationship with someone I genuinely thought I'd marry. Let's call her Lily, 26F. She wasn't just my girlfriend, she was my best friend, my safe space, the person who walked into my life when everything else was crumbling around me. 3 years ago, I was at rock bottom. My dad had passed from cancer after a brutal battle. I was in a job I hated, constantly burnt out, and had no sense of direction. My mental health? In the dumpster. Then came Lily. She worked part-time at the coffee shop near my office. Bright smile, witty as hell, and she remembered my name by day 2. She started slipping free espresso shots into my order, and I'd linger at the counter just to talk. Before I knew it, we were texting, meeting up outside work, and boom, we were a thing. And when I say I fell, I fell. Lily brought the sun back into my world. I supported her when she got laid off. I helped her pay her rent for a couple of months. I drove her to job interviews, stayed up late quizzing her for her nursing exams, and listened to her vent about her mom for hours. When she got diagnosed with clinical depression, I didn't flinch. I learned everything I could. I went to therapy myself so I could understand how to support her better. I celebrated every small win with her, when she got out of bed, when she cooked for herself, when she made it to class. And she seemed to love me back just as hard. She'd write these sweet little notes and tuck them into my work bag. She'd bake cookies with my favorite music playing. For a while, we were that couple. People told us they were jealous of how close we were. I thought I had finally found someone who wouldn't let me down. But around year 2.5, things changed. First, the texts slowed down. Then the physical affection started fading. She stopped asking about my day, stopped laughing at my jokes, stopped touching me. And whenever I brought it up, she'd just say she was tired, or that she felt off again. I was patient. I knew depression wasn't linear. But then I started noticing other things. She'd hide her phone when I walked in. Late-night study sessions with no details. She'd disappear on weekends and come back smelling like a mix of cologne and anxiety. She even forgot our anniversary dinner, said she thought it was next week. The gut feeling grew louder, but I kept silencing it until one night we were watching a movie and her phone buzzed. She flinched. That wasn't normal. I glanced over and saw a message preview. Can't wait to feel you again. From a contact named C. That was the first time my heart physically hurt. I confronted her that night. She said C was just an old classmate being inappropriate and that she'd block him. I wanted to believe her, but I couldn't. Something didn't add up. Her stories kept shifting. She started disappearing more. So I did what I swore I'd never do. I snooped. I'm not proud of this, but I installed a monitoring app on the old iPad we both used. She had left her iCloud logged in. I was at my breaking point. I needed the truth, even if it hurt. And oh, did it hurt. The messages weren't just flirty, they were downright disgusting. She wasn't just cheating emotionally. She was full-on involved. Hotel rooms, explicit photos, messages like, "Last night was everything I missed about you." And the worst part? The guy's name? Carter, her ex, the one who ghosted her after cheating on her in college, the one who she sobbed about for months when we first started dating, the one she told me she hated. I felt physically sick. I took screenshots of everything. Dated messages, photos, booking confirmations, even a calendar entry titled C Night. The next day, I asked her to come over. She walked in, gave me a tired smile like nothing was wrong. I showed her the screenshots. She stared at them, quiet. No tears. No apologies. Then she looked me dead in the eye and said, "I didn't think you'd find out." That sentence, it wrecked me. There wasn't even guilt in her voice, just inconvenience. I asked her why. Why throw away everything we had? She shrugged. I don't know. You were always so good to me. Maybe too good. I felt like I didn't deserve it. I couldn't breathe. I had bent over backwards to make her feel loved and safe, and she repaid me with this. I told her to leave. She didn't argue. I blocked her on everything, deleted every picture, every voice memo, every video. But erasing the digital traces was the easy part. The emotional ones, they linger. I spiraled for weeks. Some nights I'd cry into the pillow like a kid. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I kept blaming myself. Was I too clingy? Too available? And bit by bit, I reclaimed the pieces of myself that I had handed over without caution. Here's what I learned. Love doesn't mean losing yourself. And loyalty doesn't guarantee someone will treat you right. I gave her everything because I thought she was my forever. Turns out, she was just a lesson. If you're listening to this and you're in a relationship where you constantly feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, check in with yourself. Because love should feel safe, not like a guessing game. I still think about her sometimes. I wonder if she regrets it, if she misses the safe haven I gave her. But those thoughts don't haunt me like they used to, because now I finally see her for who she really was. And more importantly, I see myself again.